Listen to me for a moment. If your money feels tight, if the bills keep coming faster than your income, if your account looks empty and your heart feels tired, stop right here and stay with me. Do not click away. What you are about to hear is not small. It is not soft. It is not just another nice religious talk to calm you down for 5 minutes and then leave you the same. This message is for the person who has been fighting silent battles, smiling in public while stressing in private, praying at night and waking up with the same pressure still sitting on the chest. There is a reason you are hearing this now. There is a reason this word found you today, because one psalm carries a power many people read, but very few truly use. And when you hear it with faith, speak it with boldness, and live it with full surrender, something begins to move fast. I am talking about the kind of shift that starts in the spirit and spills into your home, your mind, your work, your future. Stay with me, because this is where it begins to turn. What if the thing you called normal struggle was never meant to be normal at all? What if the cycle can break? What if peace can return before the money even shows up? And what if this next day, these next 24 hours, could become the line between the old season and the new one? First, let's make this clear. Lack is not something you should celebrate as if it proves holiness. Constant struggle is not the dream God wrote over your life. You were not created to live crushed, ashamed, always behind, always catching up, always afraid of the next phone call, the next notice, the next emergency. God is not honored when your soul is drowning in fear. God is honored when your life bears fruit, when your heart is whole, when your hands have enough to bless and not only enough to barely survive. And sometimes poverty is more than numbers. Sometimes it is more than bad math, more than a hard economy, more than one difficult season. Sometimes it feels like a shadow that follows a family line, a pressure that keeps draining hope, a voice that whispers, "This is all you will ever know." And that is why this matters so deeply, because this fight is not only about cash, it is about peace, it is about identity, it is about the promise over your life. The enemy knows if he can keep you living in fear, he can keep you speaking fear. If he can keep you speaking fear, he can choke your faith before your faith ever has a chance to rise. But listen carefully. That is not how your story has to end. There is a weapon in your mouth. There is truth stronger than the lie. And the psalm we are about to walk through is not just comfort for funerals or a soft poem for difficult days. It is a living declaration. It is a spiritual answer to a heavy season. Psalm 23 begins with words so simple that many people miss how strong they really are. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Hear that again. I shall not want. That is not weak language. That is not wishful thinking. That is covenant language. That is a line of authority. When the Lord is truly leading your life, lack does not get the final word. Scarcity cannot sit on the throne of a heart that is fully under the care of the shepherd. But this is where many people stop too early. They quote the words, yet they still let fear lead them. They say God is leading, yet stress decides their next step. They say they trust, yet panic becomes their shepherd the moment pressure rises. Stay with me now, because this part matters. Psalm 23 works deepest when it moves from memory into surrender. When the Lord leads, you follow. When he speaks, you obey, even when it feels slow, even when it feels strange, even when your emotions want to run in the opposite direction. Then the next line opens wider. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. That is not just about taking a nap, that is about divine rest. It is about your soul leaving survival mode. Poverty feeds on panic, it grows in confusion, but provision often enters where peace is welcome. When your heart is noisy, you miss what heaven is saying. When your spirit becomes still, you begin to hear direction, timing, wisdom, and the next right step. Do not miss that. Sometimes the first miracle is not money. Sometimes the first miracle is peace strong enough to hear the voice that leads to provision. Then the psalm says, He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for His name's sake. Restoration is not a small word. It means God can rebuild what stress wore down. He can heal what fear twisted. He can breathe life into the places that disappointment left cold. And yes, that includes your confidence, your relationships, your work, your focus, and even the parts of your financial life that seem wasted. But there is also a call here. He leads in right paths. That means truth matters, integrity matters, obedience matters. Generosity matters. You cannot keep feeding the same mindset that created bondage and then expect freedom to feel comfortable. You cannot declare abundance while partnering with dishonesty, bitterness, laziness, or constant unbelief. This is not condemnation. This is alignment. The shepherd does not only comfort, he also leads. He corrects, he cleans, he restores. And every step you take in truth weakens the hold of the old cycle. Every time you reject the words, nothing will ever change, you cut off another piece of that chain. Every time you choose faith over self pity, wisdom over impulse, prayer over panic, you come into agreement with heaven again. So do not just read this psalm like background music. Read it like instruction. Read it like a map. Read it like a battle cry, because what sounds gentle on the surface carries force underneath. And if you stay with it, if you let it shape your thinking, your words, and your decisions, it stops being a nice passage and starts becoming a way of life. Then comes the line for the dark hour. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Notice this carefully. It says through the valley, not stuck in the valley. It says shadow, not substance. A shadow can look huge, but a shadow has no life of its own. And many people who feel trapped in financial struggle are also trapped in fear. Fear of tomorrow, fear of not enough, fear of failure, fear of trying again and getting hurt again. Fear tells you the valley is permanent. Faith tells you the valley is a passage. Fear tells you you are alone. Faith says the shepherd is right here, even now. This is where the battle often gets louder before it gets quieter. Right before a shift, the whispers can grow ugly. Nothing is changing. You will always struggle. No one is coming. It is too late. If you have heard those thoughts, you are not strange. You are in a fight, but listen closely. You do not defeat that darkness by agreeing with it. You defeat it by declaring the presence of God in the middle of it. When you say, You are with me, fear begins to lose its grip. And when fear loosens, lack loses one of its strongest roots. Because a fearful heart makes fearful choices. A settled heart can hear strategy, see opportunity, and walk forward with courage. This is where many viewers feel the shift, so do not miss it. The valley is not proof that God left you. It is often the very place where He teaches you how to stop trembling and start trusting. Then the psalm rises into one of the strongest pictures in all of Scripture. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. That is not barely enough. That is not hidden survival. That is open blessing. A table means provision. Oil means favor, healing, protection, and calling. An overflowing cup means there is more than enough, not only for you to live, but for you to become a blessing. And notice where the table is set, in the presence of enemies. That means the very forces that wanted to embarrass you, weaken you, shame you, and keep you small do not get to stop what God has prepared. They may watch, but they cannot cancel it. They may whisper, but they cannot overturn what heaven has spoken. This is why you must stop seeing yourself only as a victim of a hard season. You are also a person under the eye of God, under the care of God, under the hand of God. And when His favor rests on a life, Things begin to turn in ways logic alone cannot explain. A door opens, a contact appears, an idea comes alive, a dead place starts breathing again, a strange peace enters the house, a long delay breaks. Stay with me, because this is where many people give up too soon. They quit in the valley before they ever reach the table. But the shepherd does not bring you this far to leave you empty. His heart is not only to rescue you from fear, it is to restore your dignity, renew your hope, and fill your cup until the old story no longer fits who you are becoming. And then the psalm closes like a promise that keeps walking after you. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is more than a nice ending. This is the picture of a new rhythm, a new atmosphere, a new expectation. You stop running after scraps, and you begin living with the deep confidence that goodness and mercy are now behind you, beside you, and before you. But listen carefully because this part is important. The promise is tied to where you dwell. If you live in panic, panic shapes your days. If you live in bitterness, bitterness colors your future. If you live in comparison, comparison keeps draining your joy. But if you dwell in the presence of God, something changes at the root. Your mind becomes steadier. Your words become cleaner. Your vision becomes clearer. Your heart stops chasing every voice and starts responding to one voice. And maybe that is why this message found you now. Maybe you have been asking for God to patch a hole while He is trying to build a new house in your life. Maybe you have been praying only for relief while He is calling you into renewal. So make this personal. Stand in your room, say it over your family, say it over your future. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. There is no room here for fear to lead me anymore. There is no room here for shame to tell me who I am. I dwell with God, and because I dwell with Him, what follows me must begin to change. Now let's move from message to action, because truth grows strongest when you live inside it. For the next 24 hours, do not treat Psalm 23 like a verse you admire. Treat it like air you breathe. In the first hour of your day, before your phone, before the news, before the pressure starts talking, say out loud, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Say it slowly, then say it again with force. Let your own ears hear your own faith. In the next hour, break agreement with every word of defeat you have spoken. Say, I cancel every sentence I have spoken that partnered with lack. I break every lie that told me I will always stay stuck. I reject every voice that said nothing good can happen for me. Speak it clearly. This matters more than many people realize because negative words often prepare the ground for deeper fear. Then take a little oil if you want to, pray over it, and walk through your home with authority. Touch the door, touch the room. Say, peace lives here, fear leaves here, the Lord rules here. This house will not bow to lack. Then shift into praise. Put on worship music. Lift your hands. Thank God for what is already present, even if it feels small. Gratitude is not pretending, it is positioning. It reminds your soul that heaven is still near. Then read the psalm slowly again, this time placing your own name inside it. Make it personal, make it direct. Do not rush. This is not ritual. This is retraining your spirit to live under a better voice. As the day goes on, ask the Holy Spirit to show you what has been feeding the struggle beneath the surface. Sometimes the issue is not only money. Sometimes it is fear from childhood. Sometimes it is deep shame. Sometimes it is learned helplessness. Sometimes it is constant comparison. Sometimes it is a pattern of self-sabotage that has quietly shaped your choices for years. Pray simply, show me the root. And when He brings something to light, do not hide from it. Bring it into prayer, bring it into truth. Then look at your hands and bless them. Yes, your hands. Say, these hands are blessed. These hands will build, create, serve, and prosper. What I do with integrity and wisdom will not die in my hands. There is power in speaking life over your work instead of cursing it with frustration. After that, give something on purpose. It does not have to be large. The amount is not the point. The posture is the point. Give as an act of faith, not fear. Give as a statement that scarcity will not own your heart. Then write down the vision you carry. What kind of future do you believe God is calling you toward? A business, a healed home, debt freedom, stability, generosity, a new start? Write it down. Put the words of the psalm at the top and let that page become a prayer target. Then feed your faith with testimony. Remember times God helped you before. Remember stories of breakthrough. Hope grows when you remind your soul that God has never been limited by a hard season, a closed door, or a dry place. Then move deeper. Forgive anyone you need to forgive. Do it honestly. Bitterness can quietly drain strength, cloud judgment, and keep your heart tied to pain long after the moment has passed. Say their name before God if you must, and release them. Not because what happened was small, but because your freedom matters more than holding the poison. After that, pray with authority over your finances and your future. Speak against every force that has tried to choke your peace, delay your progress, and bury your confidence. Say, I belong to God. My life is not open ground for fear. My future is not owned by lack. Then speak over your family line. If struggle has repeated itself for years, do not whisper now. Declare that the pattern stops here. Declare that your children and everyone who comes after you will know provision, wisdom, peace, and purpose. Then go into the space where you work. It may be a desk, a car, a kitchen, a shop, a classroom, a laptop on a small table. Stand there and invite God into that place. Ask for fresh ideas, right timing, clear strategy, and favor with people. Faith is not separate from work. God cares about the place where your hands labor. Then clear what needs clearing. Throw away clutter. Organize the room. Deal with the pile you kept avoiding. Sometimes a clean space helps your spirit breathe again. Sometimes what is physical has been mirroring what is emotional. As you clean, pray. As you move things, declare peace. As you make room in the natural, expect God to make room in the unseen. And now ask for strategy, real strategy, not only miracle language, but wise next steps. Ask, Lord, what do I need to learn? What do I need to stop? Who do I need to call? What idea have I been ignoring? What skill should I strengthen? Where am I hesitating because of fear? Often the shepherd leads through direction, not only through sudden rescue. He may bring a new plan, a better habit, a business idea, a correction in spending, a path to training, a connection you overlooked, or the courage to do what you already knew you should do. Then stand tall and prophesy your future with simple, strong words. Say, my future is blessed. My mind is clear. My hands are fruitful. I will not live under fear. I will not build a life around panic. I will walk in wisdom, favor, discipline, and peace. Speak over your home as well. If you have family near, bless them. If they are far, say their names out loud in prayer. Cover your house with words of life, then take a few minutes and rest, not begging, not striving, just resting in trust. Say, you are my shepherd. You know what I need. I receive your peace before I see the answer. That kind of rest is not passive, it is powerful. It trains your soul to stop acting like everything depends only on your strength, and then declare war on fear itself. Say, fear is not my guide, not my scarcity is not my teacher. Panic is not my lifestyle. This matters because fear gets loudest when it feels itself losing ground. So if the pressure rises, do not assume you are failing. Sometimes it means the old chain knows it is being challenged. Later in the day, return to the psalm again, but this time do more than read it. Pray it, whisper it, sing it if you want. Let it soak into your thoughts until it no longer sounds like borrowed language, but like your own confession. Then do something that many people would call strange until they need a miracle themselves. Rejoice before you see the full result. Put on praise music and move with joy. Clap, walk, dance if you can. Smile on purpose. Not because every problem is gone in 1 second, but because joy is an act of faith. It tells darkness, you do not own the atmosphere here. It tells your body, we are not living under despair today. Then write a final prayer like a letter. Thank God in advance for the breaking of old cycles. Pour out your hopes, your fears, your surrender, and your trust. Write the last verse of the psalm and keep that letter where you can return to it when doubt tries to creep back in. And when night comes, go to sleep in peace. Do not go to bed rehearsing every disaster. Go to bed saying, because the Lord is my shepherd, I will rest. I will sleep in peace. I will wake expecting grace, favor, and direction. That matters. Rested faith hears better than exhausted fear. And when morning comes, pay attention. Look for the small shifts, a calm mind, a new idea, a needed call, an unexpected kindness, a sudden opening. The answer may not always arrive wrapped the way you imagined, but when the atmosphere changes, movement often begins before you can measure it. Now, let me add this because you need the whole picture. Walking in faith is not pretending bills are not real. It is not ignoring responsibility. It is not calling laziness spiritual. Real breakthrough brings both trust and wisdom together. So, as you declare the psalm, also check your habits. Be honest about where money has leaked. Be honest about what fear has cost you. Be honest about the places where discipline needs to grow. Ask for help where you need it. Learn what you need to learn. Cut what needs cutting. Build what needs building. The shepherd leads with both comfort and correction. That is good news, not bad news. It means your life is not too tangled for God to guide. It means He can heal your heart and sharpen your decisions at the same time. Maybe you need peace. Maybe you need courage. Maybe you need to apply for something, start something, finish something, or release something. Maybe you need to stop talking like defeat is your identity. Maybe you need to stop saying, this is just how my life is. No, seasons are real, but they are not names. Struggle may be something you have faced, but it is not who you are. You are not made for scraps. You are not made to live forever under the voice of not enough. You are made to walk with the shepherd, hear his voice, obey his leading, and grow in the kind of life that carries peace, wisdom, and overflow in due time. So hold both truths tightly, pray hard, and live wisely, declare boldly, and move faithfully. And if right now you are tired, if your chest feels heavy just hearing all of this because you have been carrying pressure for so long, let this settle in your spirit gently but firmly. This is not the end of your story. The fact that you have struggled does not mean you are abandoned. The fact that it has been hard does not mean heaven is closed. The fact that you do not yet see the whole answer does not mean the shepherd has stopped leading. Sometimes the first sign of change is not a giant public miracle. Sometimes it is the return of hope. Sometimes it is the end of panic. Sometimes it is the courage to stand up again, clean the room, make the call, write the plan, and speak the truth out loud without shaking. Do not despise small beginnings. A seed is small. A key is small. A match is small. But each one can open something bigger than it looks. So stay steady, stay in the psalm, stay in prayer, stay in alignment, keep your words clean, keep your heart open, keep your eyes ready. This is where many people quit, right before the door starts moving. So do not quit here. Not now. Not after all the things you have survived. Lift your head, breathe deeply, say it once more with conviction. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Goodness and mercy are following me. Peace is filling my house. Wisdom is filling my mind. Strength is returning to my heart. What tried to break me will not define me. I am led. I am covered. I am provided for. And I am stepping into a new season, one faithful step at a time. So take this word and make it living, not tomorrow. Today. Not as a performance, but as a decision. Decide that fear will not narrate your future. Decide that shame will not sit at your table. Decide that lack will not become your identity. Decide that the shepherd gets the final say over your mind, your home, your work, your family, and your next season. Speak the psalm in the morning, return to it at noon, carry it into the evening. Let it meet your worry with truth. Let it meet your confusion with light. Let it meet your weakness with strength. And as you move through these next hours, do not just wait for change. Walk with expectation. Watch your thoughts. Watch your words. Watch the atmosphere. Watch the doors. Watch what peace does to your choices. Watch what faith does to your posture. Watch what happens when you stop agreeing with the darkness that has been speaking over you for too long. This is your reminder that the shepherd still leads, still restores, still protects, still prepares, still anoints, still overflows, and still causes goodness and mercy to chase the one who dwells near him. And if you have felt buried under pressure, hear this clearly before we close. You are not forgotten, you are not finished, and you are not destined to live under the shadow forever. Keep listening, keep believing, keep declaring, because the same God who gives the promise also gives the strength to walk it out. And what begins in faith can become the turning point that changes the whole direction of your life.